Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everyone. She's got a company that helps people with many different challenges using many different modalities, and that's everything from hypnotherapy, acupuncture, could be even possibly be yoga, massage. Today, we're going to kind of center on spirituality. That's the label I'm giving it. I hope it's the right one. Maybe metaphysics is part of it. And she is Kate Blecher. Kate's Holistic Healing is the company, and she's back with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing really good. Thank you. And yourself?
Very well, very well. So we're actually looking at call it the afterlife, near-death experience, communicating potentially with those that have crossed over. I'm intrigued with everything that you offer. How does this come up? Is it just part of you?
No, it's quite important. I once asked my spirit guide, what can people do to be happier? And she said they should sing and dance and know they've lived before and will live again. Because once you realize that, it takes all the pressure off life. Because this is just one of very many lives.
Interesting.
So it is important.
Yeah. Well, you should make it count no matter what, but without worrying about, this, when the end is the end, it's not really the end.
Exactly.
Do you believe, it sounds like you do, but I want to check, in reincarnation?
Definitely. Okay. I mean, I've had enough clients that I've put into meditative trances, and they've done past life regressions, and they've lived and they've seen their lives, and they could feel how accurate it was and how it's carried over to them today. But the most important thing about that is when people do past life regressions, I always make them go to the death scene. So they see how they die, and then they see what happens right after they die. And it's amazing that everybody sees the exact same thing.
Right? I was going to mention that. And is it the white light?
Yes. Well, first, it's your rising above your body. You can look down, see your body laying where it's resting. And then in front of you is just a beautiful light. And you're very drawn to it. And if you keep looking at it, you start to make out people. And you can see people who have passed on that you love. And they're all there to greet you.
Why is it the white light? And even to back this up, I've got a colleague who was going to do call it a documentary on near-death experience, and he hasn't quite gotten it done yet, but he's looked into it and interviewed people, and they all say the same exact thing.
That is so true. They all do. But the white light is very important because our souls are eternal, and our souls are made up of light and love and music. And because of the white light, that's the aura we have when we're in a body. And I've seen people's auras, and it looks like a white sheet behind them. I mean, it's beautiful. So we always have this aura, this white light. It's part of our soul. And so when you die, you're back in this white light existence. And it's heaven.
Is this why many times people might say to somebody, love and light, love and light?
Right, exactly.
Wow.
They just go together.
Spirit guides. Let's go there for a moment, if we may. How do you define that?
Well, a spirit guide is someone in your circle who you travel with through eternity. And there might be 3 to 5 souls. And usually all of us that are on Earth having an experience in a body, these other souls in our group, they're around us. And they're our spirit guides. And they're trying to get us to listen to them, by giving us messages that might be interpreted as instincts or gut feelings. And we should pay attention to those. And so we all have spirit guides. And the more you talk to them, and ask them questions, the more wonderful things you can learn about your life.
Who would you say they are? Is it some I've heard, but I want your take on it. Angels, like Archangel Michael, could be a spirit guide. Apparently he's one of the most popular ones. I want to be him. Then could be a relative that passed over that is there guiding you along the way. Is it those that are somewhat connected with you?
Yes, and it's interesting you brought up Michael, because I'd say about 90% of the people, when they first meet their spirit guide, they meet Michael. And he just comes to people, and they all know his name is Michael. And but after years of meditating, other people will come, people that are familiar to you somehow. In your group will be your soulmate. So there'll be one person that you just have a deep love for, physical, spiritual connection. And the others are people that you've had relationships with. Maybe in a past life, it was your parent or your child or your sibling or best friend. And so we've had life experiences with them. So, but when we're on Earth now, they're around us and just loving us. And they're living in this beautiful white light existence.
How do you connect? Is it as simply as just reaching out, saying, spirit guides, offer me guidance? What choice do I make? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I find the best way to do it is through meditation. And if you get into a meditative state, then you're able to communicate more easily with the spirit guide. And just ask them to come in and, greet them, look them in the eye, and then you can start asking them questions. And you can even ask them their name, and it'll probably be Michael in the beginning. But they're very loving, and they're higher spiritual beings. They're in a higher dimension, and they're people we know so intimately.
I have done a lot of soul searching, meditation, spiritualism, etc. This I have not done, and I'm kind of intrigued. Is it just take that time, sit and be still, and then just ask that question? Can you reveal yourself? I want to know that you're there. And then you'll maybe, I guess, get the answer or feel the presence of your spirit guide.
Yes, exactly. What you can do is, when you relax, imagine yourself in a beautiful setting, and then call in your guide, and you'll see someone walking towards you. And maybe they'll be familiar to you somehow. And then you can start. I recommend you go someplace with them and maybe sit down at a table and chairs and just have a conversation. Ask them what you should be doing in your life. Ask them what happens to you, if you're having difficulty, how you should address the situation. And ask them who they are, and they will tell you.
I will be doing that later today. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. I've said this before. I might have shared it with you. I'm going to say it again. I've said it a ton of times here. Ask and you'll get. Ask and you get. Ask for an answer. Ask for presence. Whatever. I don't mean presence like holiday. I mean the presence of someone that they're with you. My mom passed 5 years ago, and I've done it a ton of times, and I get it. I get messages. I get signs, symbols, and they are very, very, very specific. It's not, if it's a butterfly and that makes you happy, that's great. So I saw a penny on the ground. I thought of my father. Good. If that supports you, I want specific, and I get it from her. And there is no doubt, I'll take it to the end of my days, that she's not gone. She's around. She's making it known that she's around, and she'll use her name. I could go on forever. Like, it just, I don't know if I shared, did I ever tell you the password story?
No.
So right here in this space, I was just vibing. I was like, Mom, send me a signal. It's been a while. Show me that you're around. Just give me something. Just something. And the next day, I had planned to get a new modem and actually got a better rate. So I was saving money on my internet, got faster speed. They put the modem in. There's a password. It's automatically generated. The guy leaves, and I'm all set. I'm going to, plug it into all equipment or whatever. Flip it up upside down. There's 4 digits dash Rose, her name dash 2 digits. But it goes even, Kate, it goes even deeper than that. Even deeper than that. So I look at those digits, and every time I move them around, it comes up to a 7 and 11. 7 and 11. The last 2 numbers, Rose dash 52. 7 and the front numbers. And I mentioned it to my daughter. She's a teenager. I feel she's very intuitive. I don't think she believes it and understands it. She is. She goes, maybe that's your dad. I'm like, My father passed away when I was 21. Suddenly. Didn't have a great relationship with him. But then I looked at the numbers. He was born on the 7th. He passed away on July 11th.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm not done. It goes even deeper than that. So I look at that, and I think it's a sign of them back together trying to tell me, he died from a heart attack, by the way, trying to send something to me about take care of yourself. So on a whim, made an appointment with a cardiologist. I haven't been to one in literally 30 years. I go, and they identified, some things I need to watch, cholesterol ticking up and things like that. But here's the cherry on top of the whole story. I walk into the cardiologist's office. There's a woman at the intake, slides the glass over. I'm looking at her. Hi, I'm Steve. I'm here for my appointment. I look at her shirt. Her name is on her shirt, and it's Rose.
Oh, my God.
So you want to be skeptical? Go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. But, the whole, everything there, I believe was assigned to you need to take care of yourself. We're watching you.
That's good. And it's very good you did take care of yourself, because that's why they're here, right, to help us. I mean, I had a similar thing. My husband died just over a year ago, and it was very tragic, but I've talked to him since he's passed on and asked him to send me messages. And it's just spectacular. I mean, he always does. He gives me everything I need, and he answers all my questions, and then they come true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it takes away so much of the sadness.
100%. I had a fine relationship with my mom. I feel it's better now than ever because I feel she's around, and it's just different. It's just different. But I believe it comes down to being open to receiving it.
Right. And believing it.
Right. Having faith in it. The story I told, I could have been a one-off. That's one of many. Kate, it would blow your mind if I continued telling these stories. It's not, for me, it's like just normal now, but all very specific. And there's no doubt. But I'm open to seeing it and understanding it. The first time she did it, I was having a challenge. Vibed her. It's a couple of years ago. 3. Night before, I had to go to a meeting. Day of, had to go to a meeting. Life-changing potential here. Big. I was like, hope it turns out okay, Mom, please. Like, just, I never did this, but please. Pulling into the parking lot, 9:22 a.m., look down at my energy drink. It's her birthday as the expiration date. So, by the way, everything turned out fantastic. It was all good. And I said that to my friend, and he's like, well, 1 in 365 chance. I'm like, I got you, in terms of the odds. But then he said, but what are the chances of you looking at the expiration date of an energy drink driving into a parking lot? She wanted you to see that at that time.
Right. That's a very good point. Who looks at expiration dates?
And I guess the point here is to be open, to be looking for it. We're all so busy with technology and every 3 jobs, everything. So much going on nowadays that we're not looking for it to see either the beauty, see the messages, see the signs. And I believe they're there. We're all getting them. We're just not looking for them.
Right. I mean, anybody who's lost anybody or just wants to talk to their spirit guides can say, send me a message so I know that you're out there and you're watching over me.
Yeah.
And I can pretty much guarantee you in 24 hours, something will, if you pay attention and look around, it will convince you because they will send you a message.
Yeah, I totally agree. With your husband, now you've said you've gotten some kind of signal. Is there something that stands out for you that?
Yes, I'm into red-tailed hawks. One of my spirit guides was a red-tailed hawk, and we have living on our property 2 pairs of red-tailed hawks. One's a younger juvenile pair, and then 2 big ones. And I asked him that, and about 2 hours later, flying in a circle above our backyard were 3 red-tailed hawks. I've never seen 3 flying together. And they just did that in a circle for about 4 hours. And I had 2 friends with me, and we were just floored because they never stay in one place for hours. And it was sort of like the formation that the Air Force does with one missing soldier. You know, instead of there being 4 hawks, there were 3. And it was him showing, you know, he was gone, but they were there. They were there in physical form, and he was there in spiritual form. And it was just the most beautiful, moving thing. And I've never seen 3 fly together again.
And there's something magical in the number 3.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
It's the most spiritual number of all of them because of the pyramids, they say.
And Nikola Tesla, you know, the guy the car was named after, but he's the one that did so many experiments in electricity and physics and all of that. Everything he did, he manifested, and everything numerically connected was divisible by 3. He was almost a fanatic. It was always a 3. Everything, every experiment. And he had hundreds of patents. There's even some that say that Thomas Edison stole the concept of electricity and from him. They worked together. They had a fallout, etc. But yeah, 3. So, by the way, I didn't say this, but while we've been talking, I've been looking out your screen door there, patio door. I see birds flying. It's like a bunch. I thought it was a butterfly at first, but then I noticed it was birds. I don't know if you have a feeder out there, but they're busy. There's stuff going on.
Yeah, we do feed the birds, and they're beautiful creatures.
Yeah. There's something there. So when we talk about making that connection, is it the same as spirit guides if you want to make a connection to somebody that may have passed on?
Well, if you want to talk to someone that passed on, I would suggest, again, getting into a relaxed, meditative state. And, you know, imagine you're walking in a beautiful scenery, like a field or a beach or something,
Sure.
And you see someone walking towards you in the distance. And they look familiar to you. And as they come closer, you recognize who it is. And it's this person who has passed on. And they will look fantastic. I mean, they are always so happy and upbeat and smiling and so glad to see you. Plus, they look beautiful because they're always in their prime. I mean, I met my husband when he was 40, but when I see him now, he's like in his late 20s. And I just have seen old ID cards of him, so I know that's exactly what he looked like. And it's just amazing. And everybody else I've seen that's passed on also comes very young, very vibrant, very healthy looking, and always so happy. And a very interesting thing, and I've seen this with many clients, is one of the first messages, one of the first things they tell you is they apologize for something they had done.
Wow.
Which I find very interesting. But it's like something they want you to know. And I've been hurt in my life, and everybody that's come to me and apologized for something, I immediately forgave them. I mean, just the fact that they acknowledged it, said they were sorry they had hurt me. I mean, it's a wonderful feeling, because they don't say that in life, unfortunately, all the time. But it is a message they want to get across.
Wow. I never thought of it that way. So I got to be mindful of that. And, in terms of the meditation side of it, I got a friend who's very intuitive, and the way she does it to get in that zone, she meditates as if she is going down an elevator, and when it gets to the ground floor, it overlooks the beach. She walks out onto the beach, and that's where she sees different things and connections and things like that.
Right, exactly. I do the same thing, but I'm walking down a flight of stairs, so I get to a beautiful garden.
Yeah.
And then it's fun, and anything that revolves around nature is also very good for meditation and talking to guides.
Yeah.
The guides are not real fond of technology. They say it's not alive. It's not like a tree.
Yeah. That's it. Trees and grounding, that's a whole other territory we can get into. Okay, wonderful talking with you. This is just a piece of the holistic healing that you offer. How does somebody find you?
Oh, if they want to reach us, we're at katesholistichealing.com. And we have a website which lists the different healers, and you can book appointments. They also can, we have a very active Facebook page with 65,000 followers.
Wow.
And we have, and then I'm an author, and I've written a number of books on the topic. My most recent one is The Angel's Guide to Happiness and Prosperity, which has a number of recorded meditations with it. And then I wrote Journey into Health, which has been very well received, and that kind of talks more about physical ailments and how to heal yourself.
Wow. I never knew that you ran that deep in terms of the spiritual side. So I'm so glad that we got a chance to talk about that today. Ask and you shall receive. That's what that's my download for today. It's there. Just ask. Wonderful being here. I ask that we get together again sometime.
I would love that.
Appreciate it. All right. We're coming right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.